Hi, I'm Tom from Pinpoint, and I'm going to talk a bit about what candidates want from your EVP has fundamentally changed and how you should really think about adapting your strategy to reflect that. So I think pre-COVID, the needs and wants of candidates were very different, right? Like people felt like it was a very candidate-driven market. It still is, but I think that was more prevalently understood. And really people thought of the EVP experience as about incentives and about what are your benefits, what are your perks, what does the job look like, how aggressive are you growing, how exciting is the opportunity. I think the reality is, whilst all of those things are still key driving factors for your candidates, they're not the only driving factors for your candidates anymore. And I think priorities have really changed, and we've seen that kind of play out across the market, industry, location, etc. I think what people are under investing in and sort of misunderstanding the importance of right now is this idea that candidates really want stability and they want transparency in this kind of very tumultuous period. So if we break those down, I think from a stability perspective, we've seen like movement and attrition really reduce over the past 6 months as candidates kind of settle in where they are, rather than that typical kind of every 18 to 24 months I might evaluate a new opportunity type thing. Candidates have really taken a pause and they're taking a bit of a breather. They're looking back and they're grateful for the opportunity they've got. And I think a lot of them are waiting to kind of see how coronavirus plays out over the coming 6, 12, maybe even longer months before they start evaluating a move again. And so your organization offering stability, offering the kind of perceived notion that you're not going anywhere, that there's going to be this opportunity for a long time and that they're not going to leave the cushy role they may well be in now to join your organization and find there's not a job for them in a short period of time. Like making sure you're laying out all of those factors is of crucial importance right now. I think the second thing to think about is just this notion of transparency. I think people aren't going to forget how organizations have reacted and adapted to this new climate we find ourselves in. And I think there are great examples. Airbnb's layoff round is a prime example of how to make difficult decisions and handle them with class. And I think this is a great opportunity for you to rethink the level of transparency you offer in terms of the window into your employment opportunities. I think this has always been important to candidates, but I think that importance has really risen over the past sort of 6 months, and candidates now are less interested perhaps in very kind of glossy PR overviews of what it's like to work at your organization, and they're more interested in what does your glass door look like. I think they're less interested in your stock photos, and they're more interested of like camera shots of what it's like to be in your office and what the desk looks like and what you're doing in terms of team bonding and how you're supporting remote work and flexibility through these times. Like candidates want to be a fly on the wall now. They don't want to be in a photo studio. And I think we need to think about how you can reframe a lot of the messaging online and make it easy for candidates to do that research into your organization before they apply. I'm not saying you should throw everything you've done so far from an EVP perspective out of the window, but I think you need to embellish that and add some additional content to reflect the types of candidate journeys people are looking for today. So think about transparency, think about like how you're positioning yourselves, think about how you're like displaying a message of stability, and kind of refocus your short-term messaging in support of that.